Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattvabodho Vidhiyate. Okay. So last class we were looking at the Swamiji's questions about Atma. Atma kaha Satchidananda Swarupaha Atma, and then elaborating on that further Sat Kim Sat Kim Trikalepi Tishtati, that which stays in all three periods of time. Said, so it's amazing. That is enough to define Sat. And then Chit Kim, Jnana Swarupaha Chit, we saw that. So this consciousness, because I know everything, this consciousness helps me know everything. And so they've said consciousness Jnana Swarupaha, Chit Jnana Swarupaha. And of course, Atma is Sadrupaha and Atma is Chidrupaha. And one more thing has to be covered, Anandaha. So that is the next question. I think that is where we stopped. So go ahead, one of you can unmute yourself, Mahesh ji. Okay, I have unmuted Mahesh. So we are, this question number is 47, 48.
Yeah, 47, 50.
So it must be 55, I think.
55, yes.
Okay. Anandah kaha
Anandah kaha
Sukhaswarupaha
Sukhaswarupaha
Evam
Evam
Satchidananda Swarupam
Satchidananda Swarupam
Atmanam
Atmanam
Vijaniyat.
Vijaniyat.
Okay. So I'll unmute. So go ahead, him and Mohini ji, unmute yourself just for my own benefit. Okay. So we talked about Ananda earlier also. So we have an idea that Ananda was not to be found in any place, not to be found at any particular time. We talked about when there is an experience of happiness, there is a subject-object division. That is what we say. There is a division between subject-object or experiencer-experienced object, which combine to create an experience. So, I am about to have a Rasagulla. So, assume that you like Rasagulla. Otherwise, replace the word Rasagulla by that which you like most. So, when I was young, I used to like, there is a this milk kova is there. They make a dish in the southern part of India called Tattvabodha. So, it used to be our favorite, and many people consider that to be a delicacy. So, delicacy is there. That is the key example here. So, you take a Rasagulla and already the sight of the Rasagulla was enough. The expectation is there that, oh, this is just what I love right now. So then the moment the Rasagulla is placed in the tongue, an object that you like, and then this experience of ecstasy, at that point, until then, I am going to eat the Rasagulla. Rasagulla is there, I am there. And I am going to eat it. The moment the Rasagulla is experienced, at that point, there is no more eater and eaten. During that experience, this eater-eaten division is not there. It's not there. It disappears completely. Subject-object experience disappears completely. Then after some time, you're back. You're back to the reality. And I want more of it. This experience is not enough. Wouldn't it be nice to have a little more? Yeah, sure. There is some more, a piece of Rasagulla remaining. A big piece is remaining. So why don't I help myself? And it goes on like this for some time. And if you're lucky, and if you don't have diabetes and all these things, you can help yourself for a couple of more Rasagullas and continue this experience for a little longer. And other people only sit and watch you. So that experience is over for them. So this experience, during this experience or just after this experience, if somebody were to ask you, what do you want? The answer will most likely be, I don't want anything. I am full, I am complete. This is where the word Purnaha comes. Purnaha. I'm full. I have everything I want. For now, at least, within brackets for now. But that within brackets, it doesn't come to us at that point. So great was that experience. So this Ananda, we call it an experience, but during that experience, because of the negation of the subject-object division of me and the other, completely gone. And that is basically the time we are able to see, as it were, the nature of Atma, this Ananda. And we mistake it as though Rasagulla is giving me this Ananda. Rasagulla is a nimitta, we call it nimitta. Nimittam means it is just by the way, it is just there. But the real Ananda really is already there. And it just gives me a window of opportunity to recognize that Atma. So that is why this Anandaha is often called as Purnaha, wholeness or fullness. These words are used. Limitlessness. That's the key. Limitlessness. Anantaha. That is why we said Ananda should be looked at as Anantaha first and foremost. Anantaha. So if you look at children, you can see that very well. They are not burdened by any biases, any issues, nothing. And especially this 2-year-old. Somebody said, my son is now, your son must be a year. I said, no, he's 2 years old. And just running around, and the whole world is his. Correct? Terrible 2 and all they say. Terrible 2, why? Because there is this child, nothing stops the child. The child doesn't see any subject-object division, and the whole world is there, and I don't see any difference between me and the world, and everything belongs to me, and I also belong to the world. The child is ignorant, doesn't know any Vedanta, no doubt. But it says no divisions. My family, their family, even those divisions only start to appear now. But until then, even that division is not there. If it has the division, it means it has come from the parents. Looking at the parents, it realizes, oh, this is my family. I cannot step out of this house. Oh, there is fear. Some fear has been created when I step out of the house. All these are projections given to the child. No, don't touch this. Don't touch that. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. So, okay, there is a reason for all that. But until then, the child has no division whatsoever. When I attend this Kathopanishad class, on the way, there's a family. They bring their son out. Son is just some 6 months old, 8 months old. Just beginning to sit. And this Surya Deva, they've named him Surya Deva. And this boy is so amazing. He goes to anybody who is ready to take. You ask him to come, let's go. He just comes to you. So he smiles, and then he just comes to you. And then somebody else comes, he smiles, he just goes to them. It's amazing. It feels this boy is something very, very different. No agitation, just completely calm, a soft smile, and then goes to the other person. And I'm taking him all the way away and then say Tata. And we're watching all these cows and all that. And there is a peacock. And he's just watching and he's just going along with me. Then he comes back. And the grandmother says, come on, let's go. And then he looks the other way. He says, that means I don't want to come. So these children, we can see this anantatvam, we can see this division, subject-object division really not there. The opposite of that is what? Dukkham. Dukkham is sorrow. Sorrow means opposite of limitlessness, limitation. Limitation, correct? So I don't have this, I don't have that, I want this, I want that. The minute I say I want this, I am implying that I am incomplete without that object. I want a new sofa, I want a new bed. It'd be nice to have a new clock. So if that want becomes binding, then this dukkham sets in. Some form of dukkham. Because the division is there now. I have limited myself. This is the way the Shastra wants us to think. Amazing. Very amazing. So, I have come to rely on this momentary fusion of subject and object for my ananda. So, I look for experiences. I don't say, oh, I'm about to fuse subject and object right now. No, we don't say all that. But that is what happens when I seek all these experiences. Okay. And so this is where Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, second chapter, this Sthita Prajna Lakshanam comes. Arjuna asks, tell me more about this Sthita Prajna. The one who knows this truth, tell me about that person. And Arjuna uses this word Sthita Prajna, my God, and Krishna loves it because Krishna doesn't change it at all. He keeps on repeating that Sthita Prajna, and that shows Arjuna's understanding. Arjuna has a very good understanding also. Despite his lack of clarity, he also understands very well. Sthita Prajna, what a fantastic word. Prajna, one who knows. Sthita Prajna, one who knows very well. Nothing more to know. And that knowledge cannot disappear also. That person, Sthita Prajna. So he says, tell me who is Sthita Prajna. The first answer Krishna gives is what? Prajahati yada kaman. Correct? Prajahati yada kaman. Hey Partha, O Arjuna, yada sarvan kaman prajahati. When one, literal translations, one gives up all objects of desire. That is what it means. Sarvan kaman yada prajahati. Manogatan means as they arise in the mind, they are given up. Means what? Means it doesn't mean they should not arise. It means as they arise, the person knows that the desire is there, but whether the desire is fulfilled or not, I am okay. That is the Prajahati. That is the meaning there. Swamiji talks very well about it. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha sthita prajnas tadochyate. Atmanyeva atmana tushtaha. Very interesting. That person is tushtaha. Tushtaha means contented. Nothing more to be contented about. How he is happy. Atmana tushtaha. Swayameva tushtaha. Without engaging in anything, that person is contented. And where is he contented? Atmani eva. In oneself alone. In oneself, by oneself, the person is tushtaha. Like that, it goes. Sthita prajnas tadochyate. Such a person is called Sthita Prajna. And such a disposition can only happen when that knowledge is there, which Krishna had talked about before all of this. Because the discussion was over. And then Arjuna asked this question. He wanted to know more. So what will happen if that is the implication of the question is, what will happen to me if I gain this knowledge? That is the question. Okay. Now, this Ananda, this word, what is bliss? They talk about bliss in many translations. Sat, existence, Chit, consciousness, Anandaha, bliss. Now, if you use the word bliss for Ananda, we've said this before, cognitively limitless, right? Subject-object division goes away means what? Limitless. There is no limitation. I am not separate from anything. I am not isolated. There is no sense of isolation. Everything is Brahma. There is no question of isolation. Any distinction can only be mithya. Correct? We saw that. Can only be mithya. Wave is there. You say there are so many waves. The wave itself may not say there are so many waves. I say there are so many waves. So I've divided the ocean into so many objects. But really, are there so many objects if you ask? It is questionable. Something to think about. I am projecting a particular shape, particular form, and I say this is a small wave. This is a large wave. That is a tsunami wave. All this forms important for us to recognize, no doubt. But the reality is that everything is just water. So that reality we are learning to appreciate here. And so when the word bliss is used, the Ananta which we are supposed to appreciate has been converted into an experience. And experience is very subjective. Experience, therefore, cannot be a defining word. Understand this very well. Atma is, the Shastram is trying to define Atma. Trying to define Atma. And the definition, the experience cannot be used to define a word. That's what Shastram is saying. Because now, if you put it in terms of experience, then I can only go by all the experiences I had, all the happy experiences and sad experiences. Yes. And therefore, now I will start seeking an experience. Experience can never be final. No experience is permanent. Remember this. Because by nature, what is experience? Something that begins and something that ends. That is what we call an experience. Then you have to say, I had a blissful experience. I must say. That means what? There was an experience. It was a very happy experience. And I liked it. And it came to an end also. Because that's why I said I had an experience. So we have to be very careful when we use the word bliss. And traditional scholars will never use the word bliss. There's no place for bliss. This limitlessness is manifest as a sukha, sukhanubhavaha. As an individual, when you ask me, what was that experience? I will have to say it was a great experience, pleasant experience, whatever we can say. But it can't be a defining word. Please remember that. So our Shastram is trying to define, and of course it uses the word Ananda. So another problem with using this word bliss is ignorance is bliss. This is another thing we have. So if I say this is bliss, what is the implication? You tell me. I'd rather be ignorant of this Atma. Only then I can have this blissful experience. Hey, we are talking about jnanam, which is the opposite of ajnanam, ignorance. And ignorance is bliss. So why don't we be ignorant? ये जान के क्या फायदा है? Already we have a condition to think like this. So we don't need to bring this word bliss. Swamiji is very careful when he talks and he makes it a point. This bliss, we need to get away from this bliss idea. Okay. So, having said that, we discussed about Ananda, Ananta, limitlessness. Sukha Swarupaha, here he says, the nature. So he says, Ananta is of the nature of Sukha. Means personally, you will, there is an experience of Ananda, or it is cognitively Ananta. When you see this truth, you will see the limitlessness of it. Like space. Like you cognitively see the limitlessness of space. Okay. So now, then he says, Evam Sachidananda Swarupam Atmanam Vijaniyat. So maybe I should give translations, right? So where did I stop? Okay. So Sat Kim, what is Sat or existence? That is the way we translate it. Sat Kim, which is 151. What is Sat, comma, existence? The answer to which is that which stays in all three periods of time, past, present, and future within brackets, is Sat. The next question is Chit Kim. What is Chit? We can carefully say, what is consciousness? And we can say it because consciousness, we saw before, cannot be objectified. You can appreciate it, but you can't say that is consciousness or this is consciousness. You can't point your finger to it. So we are safe by using the word consciousness. It gives you an idea, and we are beginning to appreciate it. That through which I am conscious of the entire world, and we are beginning to learn that it is all pervasive, etc. So Chit Kim, what is Chit, comma, consciousness? Jnana Swarupaha. The Swarupa of knowledge or comprehension or cognition. These three words can be safely used. The Swarupa. Now the question is, what is Swarupa? Very technical word, very important word in our Shastram. Swarupa means, I'll give you an example. What is the Swarupa of the wave? If you ask, if somebody asks, you will immediately say, the Swarupa of the wave is water. Swarupa of the wave. The actual nature of wave, the actual content of wave is what? Wave is mithya, but I want to know what is the reality of the wave. What is the Swarupa of the wave? There's the meaning of Swarupa, very beautiful word. And so, here the Swarupa of knowledge means the nature of knowledge, the true nature of knowledge, like that we can translate into English. And here in my notes, I have not translated it at all. I left it as the Swarupa of knowledge. Because once I understand Swarupa, I don't need to translate it anymore. Okay, so that is Chit. Then we have Anandakaha. What is Anandaha? Sukha Swarupaha. It is literally, you can translate it as, it is of the nature of happiness, or it is of the nature of limitlessness. That is the way to. understand Sukha Swarupa. So, experientially, it is of the nature of happiness. Cognitively, it is of the nature of limitlessness. That is the way we can say it. Okay. So, evam Satchidananda Swarupam Atmanam Vijaniyat. So, he's concluded. He says Vijaniyat. Vijaniyat means what? May you know. May you know. So in Sanskrit, there is something called, there's a particular, just like present tense, past tense, future tense, etc. There is another type of tense or mood, they call it. It's called Vidhilinga. Vidhilinga. And this word is a Vidhi. Vidhi means it's actually a command. It's actually a command. Vijaniyat, you must know. May you know. That is the command being given here. You don't have an option. May you know it this way. That is what Swamiji is saying. Okay. May you know what? Atmanam. May you know Atma this way. Evam means this way. Satchidananda Swarupam. May you know Atma as of the nature of Satchidananda Swarupa. In this way that I describe. That is the literal translation of this. So, Atma stands defined by this Satchidananda, Sat Chittanananda. And now a question can arise. The student says, so I am Satchidananda? Yes, you are Satchidananda. And I am also limitless? Yes, you are limitless. So there is nothing besides me? Yes, there is nothing besides you. You are the only one in this world. In fact, this world means you only. Then am I the maker of this world? Yeah, you are the maker of this world also. What about you? Am I the maker of you also? Yes, you are the maker of me also. But, so why am I listening to you? Why am I a student and why am I teacher? Why are you teacher, I am student and all this? Guru and Shishya and all. What is all this going on? This is the question student is asking. Our teacher seems to be stuck. You notice quietly the definition of I has changed during this dialogue. Quietly changed. I am the whole. Yes, Atma is the whole. Fine. Chit is the whole. Fine. And I am the student means what? Referring to this body, this mind, this senses which is manifest in this body, all that I is a Shishya. So that definition quietly the I has changed along the way. So therefore, this I am consciousness is a very popular idea. It's not new. One doesn't have to study a lot of Vedanta to understand this I am consciousness. A lot of paperbacks have it, and many new age teachers also talk about I am consciousness, your consciousness, etc. They say. So if you stop with that, this is where the problem, this kind of problem will arise, because it still leaves a lot to be understood. I am consciousness is good, it's a good, but it's only a starting point. This whole Jagat that I am confronting has to be analyzed, has to be understood, has to be explained. Only then Vedanta is complete. Otherwise, this I am consciousness is a half-baked idea. People run around saying I am consciousness, you are consciousness. So here is a person, a jiva, confronting this world, and I look around and I see this vast world. As far as the eyes can see, it goes on, and the stars are there, and the sun is there, the moon is there, and all these things around the world is there. It's so fascinating, it's so vast, and I am only a small speck in this universe. Very obvious. I'm trying to make sense. I'm trying to eke out a living in this world, and I'm going through all these experiences on top of that. And this, if you look at all this, what we see is the tree is given, this house is given, this flowers are given, the city is given to me, the moon is given to me, the sun is given. The vegetables are given, the fruits are given, everything given, just coming and given. I have no role to play in any of these things. Okay, I use the word house. Okay, maybe someday I constructed this house, I decided I needed a house, and so I constructed it, I say. But all these materials are given. Even this body is given to me. The name, at least I must have some choice to decide what my name is. Even that authority I don't have. And suddenly people are calling me by a name, and then I pick up the name, and later on somebody asks me, what is your name? I say, my name is this. And that my name is this is not my own. Somebody told me that my name is this. See how sad it is. That means what? What a joke it is. So this body is given, this color of my skin is given, the color of my hair is given, whether I have hair or not also is given. I'm trying hard to grow hair and it's not growing. And the color of the hair is not the way I want it. So like this, everything seems to be given, and I am sitting here and I find that there is really very little that I can say that I created, or this is me, or this is my own. Very, very hard to come up with those things. So this entire arrangement is given. This Jagat, we call it Jagat in Sanskrit. So, and in English, they say universe. Sometimes they use the word cosmos, and I think they use the word cosmology as the study of this universe, which is what now we are entering. Vedanta is entering into this study of this Jagat. Finally, it's going to talk about the Mahavakyam Tat Tvam Asi. Correct? Tat Tvam Asi. So far, we've been talking about Tvam. Tvam. Tvam means you. Means when the Shastra is addressing me as you, so it refers to me, the Jiva. Tvam. And there is Asi. Asi means in Sanskrit, you are. That are is Asi. And that. Amazing that the word that should be like Tat of Sanskrit. I'm still amazed by it. Somebody has to research this and find out if this is some kind of a copy-paste situation. So, Tat is that. We have already talked about this examples where if I show you an object, I was giving this example to the children, college children the other day, college students, that I told them, please come to Coimbatore. I want to show you something very unique. You can see mountains right from the house and towering. And you feel like just hugging those mountains. But no, that's not why I'm inviting you to Coimbatore. I will take you to these mountains, and there is a particular place where these watches are there. I think I told you this example. Don't mind repeating it. So these watches are coming from the earth, just coming out like a spring, like water. And not just that, hey, all ladies, you go there because that's where ladies' watches are coming. And you boys, you go there, and that is where all these gents' watches are coming. And just pick one watch. Just one is enough. Why? What will you do with 5 watches? You just pick one. Okay, you say, I have my brother at home. Okay, pick 2 watches and just come back. Suppose I tell you this. Will you believe me? They said, looked around. They said, no, uncle, we can't believe. I said, why? Why can't you believe me? All these months and years you've been believing me. Wasting 1 hour every Friday, you've been believing me. Why don't you believe me? No, we can't believe it. Yeah, tell me why you don't believe. No, this is, the watch is a very sophisticated piece of equipment. And there must be somebody who makes it. And consciously it's put together. All this they were saying. So, not very clearly, because suddenly nobody asked a question like this. And so these people are all studying architecture and Ayurveda and medicine and all that. Suddenly you ask a question like this, it's like confusing. Don't ask me this kind of question. Ask me what is the content of ribonucleic acid, and I can tell you what it is. And don't give me this kind of an example. So, so I told them, hey, this is a very sophisticated thing. Somebody has to make it, some human being has to make it. Then I say, I'll ask you something. Is your body sophisticated or not? Is the tree sophisticated or not? Can you make what the tree makes? Can any machine in this world make what the tree makes? No. That means if you say a machine is sophisticated, then what about the tree? It is more sophisticated than the sophisticated machine. But you see the tree in front of you. You say, you just take the tree for granted. It's just coming from the earth. And I tell you, you please come to Coimbatore. We will see. I will show you some trees. They're just coming and they're growing. You will say, come on, Mysore also has all that. You tell us something interesting, uncle. So I'm telling you something interesting. Watches are there. Come, do you want to watch or not? Yeah, you might say these days I don't wear watches. It's all cell phone. Nobody wears watches anymore. I'm not interested. Okay, I can accept that. But you're not fascinated by this? So very important to think about this, because we can't accept that watches are coming. Why? Because there is so much sophistication in a watch, deliberately put together. And analog watches, especially these days, they don't make, because those days it required so much precision and it required a human being to put together. And so much painstaking work is there. And these days, the electronic watch, I suppose, they just probably, if he visited a Casio company or something, it just comes like this. You know, so many watches a second that probably they make. But the watchmaker, amazing how he would make an analog watch. So I took a watch. I took my analog. There is an analog watch I have, which I bought in 1980 or 1991, and it is still working. I can't believe it. And that fellow looks at it and says, "My God, you still have this? It's working." Yes, sir. These Seiko watches, they work. They work for a long time. This, and it was having some problem. So he actually cleaned it up, and so it's still running. Because 91 is too long ago. So here the idea is, this question of who created has to come. Has to come. A thinking person will ask the question. Who created this world has to come. And then the answer comes. Answer comes. Upar wala. Upar wala. Kadavul. Bhagavan. Devudu. Ishwar. Like this, answers come. And you ask him, okay, where is this Ishwar? ये क्या बात है? ऊपर है वो. ऊपर. अरे ऊपर है means what? Why not नीचे? Why not नीचे? Nobody says नीचे, भगवान नीचे है. Nobody says that. Yeah, whatever. Why नीचे? Not. That's because you're standing on this earth. You can't be standing on Bhagavan. So Ambani constructs this big building, and his house, it seems, in Mumbai is so big. So actually, 2-3 months back, I actually went to YouTube and I actually looked it up. I wanted to see this. What is this? They talk about this guy's building. And I saw a nice video which went through all the floors of this guy's building. And there is no end. And so Ambani, you ask him, where is your floor? Anilji, where is your floor? Is he going to say ground floor mein hai, or is he going to say top floor mein hai? This psychology is, this guy's floor is on the top. And this is so amazing. The guy constructs this whole building, and his floor, if it is a ground floor, you can reach quickly, correct? You can save time. Because Ambani must be a busy man. And so many people, entourage is coming with him, and every second is money for him. So at least go reach your floor quickly. No, this fellow's floor is right on top. It takes so many seconds, maybe a minute to go up on top. And why? Top only, I think, fascinates us. Now from there, he can see the whole Mumbai. He can see all planes taking off. Everything he can see. And he doesn't need curtains for these windows, because curtain rakhe kya prayojan hai? There's no use. Curtain is required for privacy. Upar mein kya privacy? It's all private only. Only God is watching at best. And God is unaffected. God is a great guy. He is unaffected. He is neither attracted by you, he is neither repelled by you, he doesn't tell anybody about you, all this, nothing. So privacy not needed, no curtains needed. So top floor, penthouse. So this Uparwala, very interesting, Uparwala. All religions stop with this. They say Uparwala, and then the religion stops. Over. Why Uparwala? Why Ishwar Maha hai? Why he is not here? What about earth? He's not here? No, come on. Come on. Please don't joke like this. How can God be here on this earth? We've seen each other. We've seen so many people. We've even traveled. Some of us have traveled so many places. We've seen so many places. We don't find anybody who is capable of creating this world. That is a very, very obvious conclusion. We don't need big PhDs to figure this out. I want to do a PhD to figure out if God is on earth or not. So this kind of topic we don't hear. We don't hear. The Uparwala concluded. Every neo-religion stops with this. Uparwala, and then they create a desire to go and be with this Uparwala. Because heaven must be a great place. Why it must be a great place? Another conclusion is made. God cannot create this all mosquitoes around him and sweating all day, no electricity, potholes. The minute you step out, you just fall down because there is a new pothole. So I think this happens. It happens here. Everybody, especially here, senior citizen homes, and they're all careful, walking, and they don't step out of this compound because right outside there are potholes. So God cannot create a place like that. It has to be a great place. And of course, He cannot prevent us from coming. So if not this life, maybe after death, you will go there. And now the desire is created in me that I must go to heaven after death. And you keep on repeating it, and write a book and distribute the book to people. And then it becomes canon, it becomes Bible, it becomes the spoken word, and nobody can change it. And there is a big line waiting also. This is how religions are created. I mean, it's so easy. It's actually, it is so easy because if you know a little bit, and if you know how to talk, and if you modulate your voice enough, my goodness, there are millions of people waiting to follow you. And this is how religions are created. And then on top of that, you say, if you don't follow what I say, you will go to hell. That also, by the way, that footnote must be there, remember. Then only people will follow. Otherwise, they will start thinking and say, oh, this fellow. You don't allow the fellow to think. And the way you don't allow a person to think is to project fear on the fellow. You say, if you don't do this, something big, drastic is going to happen to you. Then this insecurity is there. And it stops us from thinking. That's what the church did so many, centuries ago. And I was amazed. Index of prohibited books. Some of you may have known. You look up Google. Index of prohibited books. There was a religion which gave a big list of books which you should not study. And you look up, some of the best books are there in that list. It's just mind-boggling. So stop a person from thinking. This is what happens. Hey, it's okay. You say God, heaven, fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can neither prove it nor disprove it. That also I am okay with. But why bring this word into the picture? Why bring fear into the picture? This is where the problem lies. Anyway, so this Tattvabodha inquiry comes. Even the average person asks that same question. Remember, that is the beauty of this. How did this creation come about? You look at the star and there are more stars and there are more stars, and they say there are countless stars. And it is just so mind-boggling. How do you know there is no planet out there where there are no other living beings? How can you say? You can't say. You can't say Earth is the only planet where there are living beings. You can't say that. Just like Earth, there could be millions of planets out there. We don't know. That is why I heard this one statement. The surest evidence that there is intelligent life out there is because they have not tried to reach us. No, we are all sending rockets and all these things, I suppose, satellites and all that, sending all these objects to find out. So they say intelligent life is there because they have not found us yet. Yeah, they are not bothered. They said that is true intelligence. Okay. So Tat and Tvam are the two words, and the Shastram is not simply saying Uparwala and then dropping it off. And it's going and saying Tattvamasi on top of all this. And I, this minuscule fellow who is looking at this world and is so amazed and is saying, no, you are that. That means what? The abheda between Tat and Tvam, abheda means the non-difference between Tvam and Tat. Tat, let's say, is Ishvara for now. The immediate meaning is Ishvara. The abheda is very clear. I am not God, of course. I didn't create anything. And even the things I create, I am not in control of them. My children, if I say I created there, I am not in control of them also. So they seem to be uncontrollable. Where is the question of me being God? So this God is so vast and big and all pervasive and powerful and all knowledgeable. And I am not that. That Bheda is very, very crystal clear. So we don't need a big scripture to come and tell me this. Correct? A big text with so many pages is not needed to tell me that there is a God and you are this. Scripture is not needed. Even before the scripture, I figured it out. I have enough intelligence to figure out that I am small and God is big. That figured out. Now, this abheda is there. Shastra is talking about abheda. Means there is an essential non-difference between Ishvara and Jiva. Now, to talk about that only Shastram is needed. Otherwise, Shastram not needed. You don't need a Shastra. You are a sinner. You are a sufferer. This is all life will be until after death. So this kind of thing doesn't help me at all because I am seeking help right here and now. What can you do to help me? This is the question I am asking. So Shastram, our Shastram talks about Abheda, and that Abheda Vakyam is called Mahavakyam. Mahavakyam. So whenever somebody says Mahavakyam, very important word for us. A sentence, an equation that equates the Jiva and Ishvara is called a Mahavakyam. Very simple. Simple means definition is simple. And this is where we are entering now, this Tattvabodha Vichara. What we are entering into is called, Jiva is what? Tattvabodha Vichara. So the Jiva Vichara, the inquiry into the nature of Jiva is called Jiva Vichara. Also called Tattvabodha Vichara. Also called Vyashti Vichara. Vyashti means microcosm. They use these words in English. I like this word. Microcosm, macrocosm. So micro level. I am this micro level. And so sometimes we can say that is Vyashti. Anyway, Sanskrit Vyashti Vichara. And now what are we going to study? Tattvabodha Vichara. The inquiry into the meaning of the word Tat. Tattvabodha Vichara. Or Srishti Vichara. Srishti means loosely translated as creation. Jagad Vichara. Creation we don't, because creation is a dangerous word in the West. These days there's a lot of talk about this creationalism and creationism and all that. And for good reason, there is all this dialogue going on. So we want to stay away from using the word creation. Jagad Vichara. Srishti Vichara. Samashti Vichara. Opposite of Vyashti is Samashti. Vyashti microcosm, Samashti macrocosm. The entire Jagat universe. That is what we are getting into right now. We'll continue next class. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यम् लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी तस्य शालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्यो मा मृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ